What's going on, man?
Hey man, how's it going? You alright? Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you. Yes.
I was just going to ask, what do you think of Askren against Lawler? Like, do you think they're just trying to give Ben Askren like a really easy tune-up fight in the UFC? I
Of
mean, it
course.
looks like to me Lawler's like a badass, but like
I'm not. I'm
he's
not
not.
saying that Robbie Lawler. I think that what they're trying to do is they obviously traded to get They got Askren in, right, and they did that for a reason.
Mm,
They did that because they want to promote money guys, and it's a shame because if you look at what they've done with all their money people before, they burned them out. Like, look at what they're doing with Sage Northcutt. They just
yeah,
released Sage Northcutt, and they've dumped tons of money into that dude. Well, Paige Van Zandt dumped tons of money into her. You don't really see a lot about her going on, a lot of promotion for
no.
UFC. And then all of a sudden, magically, it's like rather than putting money on fighters who are just genuinely really good fighters, not saying that those people are not, but they put a lot of money on attractive people. That's what
Yeah,
they did. And it's not a surprise. They're trying to make money. They're trying to find that Ronda Rousey magic. So what
mm,
they did was now they brought Ben Askren in. They're trying to find I guess, maybe change their business model a bit. I don't know if he's an attractive dude or not, but everybody knows Sage Northcutt's a handsome son of a bitch. So what they were trying to do, I think, is bring this guy in so they can have a new crop of people that they can push to sell fights. And
yeah,
now
yeah.
knowing that they already have such good people that I think that they took advantage of. Mighty Mouse, man, if they actually put the time to promoting that dude, he was incredible. An incredible fighter. And then now what? He's gone? Because why? You wasn't selling your pay-per-views that you weren't pushing? Like, did you see the armbar he did from the suplex?
Oh, yeah, that was Wilson Hayes, right? Wilson
Dude,
Hayes.
come on. Does that would sell the shit out of some pay-per-views for me? It's like it seems like the only person that they've really like Ronda Rousey obviously was a giant money draw for them. The Ultimate Fighter, where Forrest Griffin fought was it Stephen Bonner? Is that the fight?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that fight obviously launched UFC to the platform that it is today.
Mm,
Putting money into the right places is a difficult thing. But at the same time, you can't not take care of your fighters. They are the people that make your promotion. And you might put a lot of money into one or two people like a McGregor and things like that. But damn, you need to fucking diversify some.
yeah,
Diversify. Don't just put all your money into one basket because let's say magically, right? You got to have Conor McGregor come in for this multi-million-dollar fight again, whatever that fight may be. I'm sure they'll convince him to do it again. And then all of a sudden he breaks his leg. You're losing millions of dollars in advertisement. Done. You're not going to make that money back on pay-per-views. You're not going to make that money back in ticket sales because people aren't going to want to go to that shit if the main event is canceled. And that's already happened to them a few times. So I think that it's a shame that they dump all their money into one basket, especially when you have, 15 fights on a card? You got 15 fights. That means you got 30 fighters. 30 fighters you could try to boost up and
yeah,
promote
yeah.
and shit. But you put all this emphasis on, like, the main event shit, and sometimes the main event isn't where the story is, just to be honest. That's not what I come to watch. Sometimes I don't give a shit about the main event, but there's an undercard dude. I'm like, that guy. That's who I want to see,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I've not been to many live events. Obviously, I'm in the UK. They're not over here often. They're in London when they are, and I've been to a few. And yeah, when you're at the early prelims, you can count the people in the crowd who are there to watch. And I just think that's so sad. And these guys are fighting for pennies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, again, when you're putting, like, in a boxing match, pro boxing match, right? You have a couple undercard fights or whatever. Like, there's usually a couple, like two or three, when you're there. Some of them don't get televised. But then the main event, the main card for a boxing match, usually you might have, four fights?
yeah,
Something like that. Like, on average, maybe a little bit more, but it's not many. But these guys are trying to crank out, 15, 20, 30 fights in a night? Like, 4 or 5 of those fights aren't getting televised, or they're on Fight Pass. And then you get the prelim fights. Then you get the main card fights. Like, if I start watching these fights from the time it starts to the time the day is over, it's usually 4 o'clock in the afternoon all the way to sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning.
well,
That's why
for
you're
me,
losing money, you
for
know?
me, it's like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you're losing money, man. Like,
yeah,
why are you paying all of these people? Cut some of these people back, put a little more emphasis on a few fighters than trying to put emphasis on 50 fighters. You're right. And then put a little more emphasis on the story, not so much the person, because sometimes
absolutely.
there's some great back end shit. There are a lot of fighters who've had to make it through some terrible things in their life to get there, but you're never going to find out about that because they're not a main event guy. Like, how do you think they can become a main event guy?
Mm. I found that the most. The one that really hit home for me was when it was they were promoting Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo, and
Uh-huh.
it was Conor McGregor's a self-made man. He's come from nothing, and I'm thinking, do you not know anything about Jose Aldo? He's come from more nothing than anyone.
And at
anyone
the
I know
time,
of.
didn't he have the title?
Yeah, exactly. I thought they treated him terribly. I thought they treated him terribly in the run up to the McGregor
You know,
fight.
and then there's a lot of back end guys that I don't think were getting the right end of the stick either. The Reebok deal really screwed a lot of people over out of money, just to be honest. Now, it might have been better for UFC as a company, but it wasn't better for the fighters because there were guys who weren't even fighters who got screwed. Like one of my favorite cut dudes ever, his name is Stitch, right? And if you follow him, he's incredible, right? You see him in a lot of movies and boxing, but he is really probably one of the best cutting men there ever were. But he's got a personality. He's a genuinely good human being. And then when you look at like what they did to him, basically because he's not a fighter, but they took away every opportunity for him to wear sponsors because of the Reebok deal. Well, that's a lot of money for a cut man, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have been making a buku load of money. And I just think that it just, that's why he had to leave. He had to leave. And I think he's doing other promotions now, but he couldn't come back to the UFC because he wasn't allowed to do his sponsors. You know, like the handler, I forget his name, but the handler who handled all the fighters in the back area and made sure they were all good and taken care of. I don't remember his name right now, but he was a big personality for them. And fighters love that dude. But again, they weren't taking care of that guy. So now he works for another promotion, handling those fighters, making sure that they're where they're supposed to be and stuff. And it's like, if you keep chopping down all of the little people that make you so big, you will not be as big, you know?
Yeah. No, I think the Reebok, well, everyone disagrees. I think the UFC is crashing. I think it's going downhill fast, and I think the Reebok deal was the start of that. And I mean, I know everyone's saying that that Bellator is all the upcomers and the has-beens, right? There's no one good there. First of all, I think that's a load of bollocks. You got Rory McDonald, Gegard Mousasi, guys like Mike Chandler, Michael Venom Page who haven't been tested. I think that's well on the way up. One is obviously on the way up now. They've got Mighty Mouse. Apparently, Sage Northcutt might be going to one now. I know that he was chatting with I can't remember the name of the guy that owns it, but yeah, he was chatting. And
Bellator's not doing too bad. Like,
no.
you know, I don't know how they're doing financially, but it seems like they're being intelligent. It seems like what they're doing is they're taking a step back and they're watching UFC to see what they do. And if UFC takes a step in the right direction, they take that step. But if UFC makes a mistake, they go, nope, not doing that shit. Because like they did the Reebok deal, right? And then Bellator had to be laughing their ass off going, well, fuck, we're not going to do that because that screwed you. So now all these fighters are still coming out with all their logos and stuff. And you know what? It doesn't look any less professional to me. It looks just as professional. And that's what they were going for, that professionalism. It's like
the tournaments, bringing the tournaments back is amazing.
Exactly, like the Grand Prix style tournaments, right? And they're giving an opportunity for some of these fighters who might not have an opportunity to go back in belt contention anymore. Like their day is over. They're not going to be champions anymore when it comes to a belt holder. But you know what? These fighters still want to fight, and that's what they do for a living. So you're giving them enough opportunity to make big money in their retirement ages. I mean, that's awesome. That's an awesome thing to do for people, you know? And then it helps us. Shit, that's entertaining as fuck. That heavyweight tournament that they did, look at all the killers that they had on that card, man. Every one of those dudes could murder you with their hands without trying. And they were all in the ring together. Shit, I'm down, you know?
Madness. They need to bring in a Royal Rumble next. Ian Lunny said a good thing, like what you were saying about promoting the wrong people. The Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey fight, prime example. They were bigging it up like, Ronda Rousey's going to smash. She's going to walk through Amanda Nunes. She'll be back on the throne with her. Amanda Nunes is a killer, and I can't believe they overlooked her. And I was buzzing. I found that the Amanda Nunes defeat of Ronda Rousey was so much more satisfying than the Holly Holm one because she didn't even land a punch. She made it look like someone just volunteered from the audience. They were like, right, we've got a world champion. You ladies fancy stepping in here and having a go?
Yeah, man, it was pretty brutal, man. I really did feel bad for Ronda Rousey, but I think that she made a very intelligent decision to go to WWE. And I'm not going to lie, I think that was probably a game plan for her for a while now, especially due to her name. You know, she got that name because of a WCW wrestler, or it was a WWF back in the day.
Yeah, WWF.
Yeah, but she got a name from what, Rowdy Piper. It's hard to say, man. Alliteration. I got a speech impediment, damn it. But yeah, like I think that was a smart business move. People were giving her shit about that. And I was like, but you're not the one in the ring getting the shit beat out of you for money. Now she could do it, still be an athlete, still represent and be a role model and make an ass load of money. And you know she's making way more money over there than she was for the UFC. I can promise you that shit.
Yeah.
So.
No, Right, man. I don't know how much an ass load is. It sounds like a lot.
It is. It is. But hey, dude, I really appreciate you hopping on live, man. Always enjoy the chit chat.
Yeah, cool, man. Take it easy in a bit.
Catch you later. Man, that dude's awesome. Good conversation. Let's see.